Hi viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel SK Ulagam. Today we are going to learn about the parts of a circle. So what are all the important parts we have in a circle? So to start with that, first we need to know the center of the circle. As the name itself suggests that the center point of a circle is called as the center. So let us mark the center as O. So we should know what is the center of the circle. Next one is the radius. The distance between the center to any point on the circle is called as the radius. Here let us mark a point on the circle as A. So the length OA is called as the radius. So wherever we mark point on the circle, the distance between that particular point to the center is called as the radius. So throughout the circle, the radius remains the same. If we draw a circle of 5 centimeter radius, then wherever we measure the distance between the center to any point, the radius remains the same. So the radius is the distance that connects the center to any point on the circle is the radius. B to C is called as the diameter. That means the line which connects the 2 points on a circle and which passes through the center is called as the diameter. Say that the diameter is the longest chord. So what do you mean by a chord? A line segment which connects any 2 points on the circle. Okay, so from wherever it is, here for example it's DE is called as the chord. So there is a difference. Just I'll repeat you again. The radius is nothing but the line, the distance between the center to any point on the circle is called as the radius, and the distance between any 2 points on the circle is called as the chord, and the chord, if it passes through the center, then it is called as the diameter. And we used to say that diameter is the longest chord. And then the next part is the perimeter of the circle is called as the circumference. That means the outer length of the circle is called as the circumference of the circle. And the arc, that means the part of a circumference of a circle. So this is called as the arc. And this is the minor arc and the remaining is called as the major arc. That means if the region is less, if the part is less in a circumference, that is called as the minor arc, and the major part is called as the major arc. And the area covered by the chord and the minor arc is called as the minor segment. So this part is called as the minor segment. I repeat it. The region bound by the chord and the minor arc is called as the minor segment, and the remaining part is called as the major segment. So we have learnt what is radius, diameter, chord, minor arc, major arc, minor segment, major segment. Next one is the sector. What do you mean by a sector? So the area bounded by the two radius with the minor arc is called as the minor sector. So this is the minor sector. So the area bounded by the two radius and the minor arc is called as the minor sector, and the opposite one, the area bounded by the two radius with the major arc is called as the major sector. And the next, what do you mean by tangent and a secant? So secant is nothing but a line which passes through 2 points on a circle is called as the secant. This line which passes through 2 points on a circle is called as the secant, and the line which passes through a point on a circle is called as the tangent. So it passes through a single point, it's a tangent, and the line which passes through 2 points on a circle is called as the secant. You may ask the difference, what is the difference between a chord and a secant? Chord is the distance which is joined between 2 points on a circle. Secant is the line which passes through 2 points on a circle. So in the next slide we can see each part with a different figure. So radius, the distance between the center and any point on the circle. And the second one is the diameter, which connects the 2 points on a circle and passes through the center. The circumference is the outer length. The outer length of the circle is called as the circumference. And the chord line, the distance between any 2 points on a circle, and the longest chord is the diameter. Arc, the part of the length of the circle is called as the arc, and the smaller one is called as the minor arc, and the major one is called as the major arc. And the region bound by the chord and the minor arc is the minor segment, and the remaining is the major segment. Sector, the region bound by the 2 radius and the minor arc is called as the minor sector, and the other one is the major sector. Tangent, the line which passes through a point on a circle. Okay, that is called as the tangent. And regarding the different types of circle, first one is the concentric circle. That means many circle which have the same center is called as the concentric circle. So here we have 3 different circles, and for each circle the center is this point. That is, if we have it as O, so for all the circles the center is the same, O. So here, since the 3 circles have the same center, we call it as the concentric circle. Next is the congruent circles. What do you mean by a congruent circle? So congruent circle means the 2 or more circles which have the same radius. That means the radius will be of the same length. So here OA and XP. If we have OA as 5, XP length will also be 5 centimeter. So the 2 circles which have the same length of radius is called as the congruent circle. Okay, and the next one is properties of chord of a circle. So chord means, as I already said, the distance between 2 points on the circle. Any 2 points on the circle is called as the chord. So if we draw a perpendicular, what do you mean by a perpendicular? That means which makes 90 degree. So perpendicular means which makes 90 degree angle. So a line, if we draw from the center of a circle which makes 90 degree with the chord, what does it do? It bisects the chord. That means if AB length is 6 centimeter, then this OX, which is perpendicular from the center, it bisects AB into 2 equal parts, that is 3 centimeter and 3 centimeter. So bisects means which divides the line into 2 equal parts. That is called as the bisect. So if we draw a line which makes 90 degree with the chord, then that perpendicular line bisects the chord. That means it cuts the chord into 2 equal parts. This is the first property. The next property is equal chords of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. That means if we have 2 chords, that is PQ and RS, of both same length. So if PQ length is like 3 centimeter and RS length is also as 3 centimeter, then both the chord, if we join this P and Q with the center and R and S with the center, we get 2 triangles. So these 2 triangles, it makes the same angle. subtend equal angle. So angle formed here, let me have it as A. This also makes A with the center, and this chord also makes angle A with the center. So equal chords of a circle make equal angles at the center. This is the second property. And the third one is equal chords of a circle are equidistant from the center. That means if we have two chords AB and CD of equal length, and when we join this from the center, this OP will be equal to OQ. This OP will be equal to OQ. Why? This AB and OP are perpendicular. That means, as we have seen the first property, when we draw a perpendicular from the center, it bisects the chord. So now first, as I said, AB is equal to CD because both are equal. AB is equal to CD. This is the first point. And then what we are doing? We are making perpendicular from the center, OP, OQ. And we already know that all the radius have the same measurement. So this OA will be equal to OC and AP will be equal to QC. So obviously, and this angle is equal to this angle. So these two triangles are congruent, and by CPCT, that means corresponding parts of a congruent triangle, the third side also will be equal. If two parts of a triangle are equal, then obviously the third side will be equal. So OP will be equal to OQ. This shows that the two chords which are equal in length, they are equal, they'll have equal distance from the center. So this is the third property, equal chords of a circle are equidistant from the center. So now we are going to do sums based on these properties. So the radius of a circle is 25 centimeter and the length of one of its chord is 40 centimeter. I'll just zoom it out so that will be easy. So the radius of the circle. Now let me draw the radius. And then a chord. Let me draw a chord. So this is a chord. Let me join this chord and the center of the circle. And the radius of the circle is 25. So this is 25 centimeter. And the length of the chord is 40 centimeter. So the whole length is 40, and we have already seen that the distance between the center of the circle to the chord, if we make 90 degree, then it bisects the chord. So this is 20, half of it is 20. So how we are going to solve this sum is, we are going to draw another radius like this. So this is also 25 centimeter, and we are going to find the distance of the chord from the center. So if I draw a separate picture here, it's like this. So this is 25 and this line is 20, and we have to find this x. As I said, this line makes 90 degree. Based on the Pythagoras theorem, the hypotenuse square will be equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. That means 25 square is equal to x square plus 20 square. So this is the Pythagoras theorem. In a right triangle, the square on the hypotenuse will be equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Okay, so now we'll solve this. 25 square is 625 is equal to x square plus 20 square is 400. So 625 is equal to x square plus 400. So when we bring this 400 this side, because we need to find the value of x square, it becomes, let me continue here. So x square is equal to 625 minus 400, that is 225. So when we transpose the number, the value changes, the sign changes. So plus 400 becomes minus 400. So 625 minus 400 is 225. So x is equal to square root of 225 So 225 is a square number of 15 square. So x is 15. So the distance of the card from the center is 15 centimeter. So this is the answer. This is how you need to solve. So for this you should know that the radius of the circle is the same. Wherever you draw a line from the center to any point of the circle, the radius remains the same, and the perpendicular from the center to the card bisects the card. That means it divides the card into two equal parts. So here the length of the card is 40 centimeters. So the half of its length becomes 20 centimeter. So in the same type we have another question. The diameter of the circle is 52 centimeter and the length of one of its card is 20 centimeter. So here the diameter is given. So as you know that half of the diameter is the radius. So this is 26. Half of 52 is 26, and the length of one of its card is 20. So this length is 20 and half of it is 10. So join this. So this becomes 10 and draw a line from here so that this is the radius. So here is 10 and here is 26, and this x we should find the same type, but here it's given as diameter. That's the only difference. So when we write here, 26 is the hypotenuse. So 26 square is equal to x square plus 10 square. Half of the card length is 10. So it's 10 square. So 26 square is, so 676 is equal to x square plus 10 square is 100. So x square would be 676 minus 100 is x square So 576 is x square, and if we find the square root of 576, we get as 24. So x is 24 centimeter. So the distance of the card from the center is 24 centimeter. Okay, this is how you need to solve. The next question also in the same method. So card length is 30, is drawn at the distance of 8 centimeter. Here you need to find the radius. So the card length is given as 30, and this is the center, and the radius is need to find, and this distance is given as 8. So radius is the hypotenuse. It's an easy one. And half of this is 15. So let the hypotenuse be x. So by Pythagoras theorem, the square on the hypotenuse will be equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So x 8 square plus 15 square. So 15 square. So 8 square வந்து 64 plus 15 square வந்து 225. So 64 plus 225 வந்து 289. So x square is 289. So x is 17. So if you are thorough with the square numbers, you will know this. So 17 square is 289. So the radius of the circle is 17 centimeter. Okay. So today I have explained you about the parts of the circle and the properties of cards, 3 properties, and based on the property how to solve the given sum. So if you like this video, kindly like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you viewers.